Welcome to Morning Devotion. I'm Brooks Gibbs. We're in Genesis chapter 1. The verse we're going to focus on is verse 31. Let me read it. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. This was the evening and the morning. It was the sixth day. I love this passage in Genesis 1:31. This devotional is awesome because God really delights in what he made. He took a step back, he saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And I appreciate this because when we sit back and we look at our kids, which are God's creation, by the way, we too can say, yes, this is very good. As parents, we have been entrusted with the incredible responsibility of raising and nurturing our children. In the midst of chaos and challenges that parenting often brings, I think it's crucial to ground ourselves in the truth found in this verse of Genesis 1:31, because it's in this verse that we witness God's divine affirmation of his creation, declaring it very good. And I think through this example, we learn an invaluable lesson on how to reflect his nature in our roles as parents. Three things come to mind. Number one, God's declaration. It reminds us that the inerrant worth and value of every child is there because they are, by nature, God's creation. Every single life, fearfully and wonderfully made. It's a masterpiece of God's handiwork. So don't yell at your kids and think they're scum. Don't holler at your daughter or your son and say, oh, you're just like your mother, you're just like your father, in a disgusting tone. Always remember, you're talking about God's kids, God's masterpiece, God's handiwork. We have to remember this truth as we interact with our kids, speaking life and encouragement into their hearts. I like to separate the behavior from the person. When I try to parent and I try to bring a correction, I focus on the actual behavior. I don't say, you're so clumsy. I don't try to label them. I say, hey, that was sort of a clumsy way to put the glass down. I focus on the behavior. You have to catch yourself because it's called globally rating or labeling kids when we connect their behavior with their person. No, let's never forget that they are God's creation. And may we foster an environment in our home where they feel safe, loved, and valued just as God did when he beheld his creation. Secondly, I think this verse highlights God's intentionality and order in creation. I'm not very orderly. I took an orderly test. I scored 0. I'm serious. In the big personality 5, I cannot keep anything in order. I'm literally the opposite of OCD. I don't care. I say yes to the mess. But God, not God. No, he keeps things carefully crafted, each detail ensuring that everything fit together harmoniously. And I think in the same way, we need to try to bring structure and stability to our kiddos, reflecting God's nature in that way to our kids. Because by establishing routines and setting boundaries and teaching kids basic godly principles to live by, well, we provide them with a strong foundation for their future, and they can reflect this characteristic of God. Third thing that comes to mind when we read this text, God's pronouncement of very good signifies his delight in his creation. This is my favorite. As parents, we have the opportunity to delight in our kids as well. Let us take joy in their unique personalities, their talents, and their dreams, celebrating their accomplishments, no matter how small, and encouraging them to explore their passions. And in so doing, we create an atmosphere of love and acceptance, mirroring God's heart towards us. Today, let us embrace Genesis 1:31 is a reminder of our calling to reflect God's nature to our kids, especially the part where he takes time to enjoy his creation. The meaning of life is to enjoy the joy of being enjoyed by God. Know that he enjoys us. Father, thank you so much for enjoying us. Thank you for looking at us and saying we are very good, not because of our righteousness, but because of the righteousness of Christ. And may your heart be our heart towards our kids. Hey, thanks for spending the morning devotion with me today. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.